wringing his hands and thinking, but Muhammad was a warrior. These people, they don't know anything about the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They don't know anything about sahlul khuluq, layyinul janib. The Prophet is described easygoing, gentle in his disposition. This is everywhere in the hadith. People don't study. That's number one. And number two, if the critique is coming from a Jewish or Christian apologist, then they're applying a double standard. And you've pointed this out in the past. And Numbers chapter 12, Moses, who is described as meek and humble, it says the meekest of all people on the earth. Numbers chapter 12. Yet Moses ordered 3,000 people killed in one day in Exodus 32. And that's a bloodbath.
And just talking about the meekness applying to Jesus' passage. Well, if you look at the last book of the Christian Bible, the book of Revelation, you have Jesus, no more Mr. Nice Guy. He slaughters his enemies on an industrial, global scale. So he's not very gentle on occasions.
Yeah, that's also true. And if you look at our scholars, they've estimated about 500 enemy casualties in the 23 years of the Prophet Muhammad's ministry. 700 men, all men on the battlefield.
Is that just 700? Wow.
Yeah, the Bani Qurayza incident is highly disputed. In Numbers 31, it was the same Moses, according to Numbers, who scolded the Israelites for not slaughtering all of the Midianite women in addition to the men. He complained, why did you leave the women alive? Where does the Prophet Muhammad order the slaughter of women? Where does he order the slaughter of children? There were hypocrites in Medina pretending to be companions, and the Prophet knew who they were, and he did not order even them to be killed. Yet Moses is a true prophet and Muhammad is false because he was a warrior. I mean, the logic is just astounding. It's out of this world. In 2 Kings, we're told that 4 little children made fun of the prophet Elisha's bald spot, right? This is in 2 Kings. They were calling him Baldy. In Hebrew, they were saying to him, "Alay qare'ah," which means like, get going, Baldy. These were little children. What did Elisha do? This is a true prophet, a Nevi Emet, according to the Bible. Yeah. He cursed them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 bears came out of the wilderness and ripped apart 42 children. Ripped them apart. Imagine the carnage.
This story, if you haven't heard of this story before, you might think that Dr. Ali Attar is making this up. I assure you he's not. This is actually in the Jewish Bible. A prophet was called Baldy. I mean, seriously, this is exactly what happened. You can go and read it for yourself. And retribution was swift on these kids. It's all there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I've been accused of making things up too.